When I left the UK, I had some massive plan in order to sort of document my life and basically film my success from leaving the UK and moving to Croatia, and basically filming that and journaling it down to show that anyone could be successful if they really tried. Now, over this period of time, I have tried so many different online businesses, and it's not that I've failed, but in the sense of my own thoughts, I've failed, you know. I failed because I haven't got to the point that I thought I would. Running a business before and being able to create a business before, a plumbing business in the UK, I thought that, you know, all my skills and all my knowledge and all my interests, I would be able to just, you know, do that quite easily over here in Croatia. But the fact of the matter is, it's not as easy as they make it out to be. So I follow a lot of influencers online, and they were always shilling me things like how to make, you know, 10,000 a month, how to do this super easy. And it's all these online business money making methods basically. And I've tried many of them, which include sort of drop shipping, crypto, blogging, affiliate marketing, all kinds of things basically. I've tried loads, maybe 10 different models. Now, some worked for me, some didn't work for me. And I've learned a ton of things from them. But also what I was doing in the background was also doing plumbing, as you guys know. When I left the UK, I told myself one thing. I told myself, Dusan, you're never going to be doing plumbing again. You hate plumbing, you will never do it again. And obviously, when I came to Croatia, I decided it was a smart thing to do just to open up a plumbing business, just in case things didn't work out how I planned them to go. Yeah, so I was doing a few plumbing jobs, and actually a lot of my network has come from plumbing because I've been to various people's houses, I've spoke to various people, and it's actually been quite nice. Although my mindset has totally been negative towards it and I've not wanted to push it, because basically I just knew that my core value, I wanted like location freedom. I didn't want to be tied to plumbing again. I hated the feelings of plumbing. But when I actually stepped back and kind of had to think about things more, I realized that I didn't necessarily hate my job. I hated my environment. Like, the environment that I was in sucked. I was in England, rain was pouring all the time. I was constantly from job to job. No time to chill at all. I literally had to eat my lunch in between my legs in the van while I'm driving around. And this kind of feeling was like horrible, right? I was always under stress. I always had to be there. And it made me hate my job. But when I moved to Croatia, I realized that things were completely different, right? It was almost like I was discussing this with a friend, and he was like, well, it's almost like you're plumbing in heaven. And I took a step back and I thought about what he said there. It was like, you are working in a beautiful environment, the sun is shining, the customers are nicer because it's so hard to get a tradesman there, so they're happy, you know, with the work that you're doing. They're not very anal like the English people are. They just want everything sort of perfect, not a fingerprint on the wall, whereas here people are a lot more chilled and relaxed. And you also have more time to just take, you know, a longer break, or, you know, sit by the sea with a coffee and enjoy. And the customers aren't on your back all the time, like, where are you, what are you doing, this, that and the other. Like, they're just happy that you're doing the job. The complete mindset over here is completely different. And I kind of overlooked this a lot, but I still know that I didn't really want to push forward with plumbing. But just this change of mindset has totally changed the way I was thinking about it. Like, the environment is important. So you may hate your job now, but it might not be the job that you hate. It actually might be the environment that you're in. It could be your job, it could be, you know, your location, it could be your colleagues, it could be your boss. All those kind of things can create a really bad scenario, and if you just moved away from that into a better environment, then you are going to enjoy your job a lot more. It's just like you hanging around with, you know, a network of friends. All the friends are going to the pub, drinking beer and smoking, and you really don't like that environment anymore. You've grown out of that environment, and the best thing to do is find a new one. So you find a new network of people that have the same interests of you and want to grow themselves, and you become a better person because of the change of environment. So the thing that I learned here was, one, changing the environment can totally change your mindset about everything. Number two was like, yes, okay, I can see that the online world does have more opportunity because you're able to potentially get rich quick. But you have to be in the right place at the right time in order to do so. And I feel like a lot of people that are online telling you you can do the same as they have, they were just in the right place at the right time. So for instance, if you're into e-commerce, that person might have found one winning product that made millions, right? And then all of a sudden they've realized that they can't find any more winning products, and instead they do coaching and they start coaching other people to do the same. And some people have successes, some people don't. I guess it's how much you try, how much time you invest, but it also depends a lot on luck. And the thing about that is, yeah, okay, you can have one winning product, but where's the longevity in that? The market's always changing. You're always having to find the next winning product, right? And I just thought, like, I was thinking the other day, you've got AI, you've got now this computer chip that's coming out that Google has, quantum computer chip. This is going to totally change the game, right? In the next 2 years, when this fully, potentially comes into operation, this could totally change the landscape of the online world completely. So this is making me like reevaluate my thoughts here. Because yeah, okay, you could be that lucky person that makes millions online, and you're always working online because you can take your laptop wherever you want to. You can, coach online, you can do this, that, and the other, and it's flexible, right? Whereas like the plumbing job that I had, it's very location dependent. You have to be in that location. You can't take it anywhere else, really. I realized that the online world has no longevity, but things like plumbing, they've stood the test of time. They have longevity. And less people are doing construction jobs, which means actually it's probably one of the better opportunities that is out there that I've just completely overlooked and didn't want to admit. And, part of me thought, man, like if you go to Croatia now after telling everyone that you don't want to be a plumber again, and then you end up being a plumber again, you are a failure. You're a failure to yourself, you're a failure to everyone else. But actually, it doesn't really matter what other people think, because I realize there actually is more longevity in that than anything else, and it's controllable. I can see that Croatia is a landscape that does need people, constructive workers and good ones, in fact, because they're always struggling to find someone. So to be a skilled tradesman here, I think is one of the best jobs that you can have in Croatia anyway. And people are saying, the plumber can earn more than a doctor here, which actually I believe. I've been in twists and turns, and I've really been evaluating things and thinking, do I crack on with the online world, keep going, or do I take a bit of a U-turn and do the plumbing side? I haven't fully agreed to doing anything yet, but I know that, for instance, when I was creating content, I was making money through creating plumbing content, and I was making brand deals, and I was creating UGC content, and those kind of things were really good, and they worked out really well, and it all came from my experience and skills in plumbing, and also how I am on camera, and that worked really well. And I've always struggled after that because content came so authentically to me. I could pick up the camera, I was doing a plumbing job, I would just film what I was doing, and hey ho, there you go, a video goes viral. But now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, oh, what can I create content on? I'm sitting in these four walls and I'm staring at a screen. I'm not meeting any new people. And like, yeah, the online world does have its benefits, but it does have its negatives too. Like, I'm not meeting anyone, I'm not experiencing things, I'm not outside, I'm hunched over, I'm staring at a screen all the time. There's a lot of health deficits to it as well. And yeah, it really shows that there is pros and cons to everything. I always remember I was in the UK and I always looked at my job as something that the pen pushers looked down on. Like, as a tradesman in the UK, you kind of looked like, I don't know, really quite negative, to be fair. People look down on you and think they are better than you. When in actual fact that some tradesmen are earning, a lot more than these people that are working in offices anyway. Yeah, this is the kind of mindset that I dragged around with me. Oh, like I'm a plumber, I'm wearing bloody dirty clothes every day and everyone's looking at me like this, that and the other. Whereas now, like, I'm in Croatia and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, actually everyone just kind of respects the worker here. And I remember I was having this chat with this lady at a restaurant in Beograd, na Moru. And I was telling her about, oh yeah, I want to kind of go away from plumbing completely. I want to do, the online world. And she kind of just tore me a new one. She was like, oh, everyone is looking to get an online job now. Everyone's lazy. No one wants to do, manual labor anymore. Manual labor is so needed, this, that, and the other. And we'll value more that you do those kind of things rather than be online. And I was just like, you know what? She has got a point. I always thought that being a plumber means that I'm not able to share what I want, like the value I want with my community and with the people, that I want to inspire and give value to. And I just feel like it's wasted as being a plumber. But I mean, it doesn't have to stop there. I can do the plumbing work, I can do my content creation, I can inspire through that, I can show people my day-to-day running, I can make great content about showing the environment of me working here. I mean, there's so much that I could show through doing this if I decide to go down that route. I'm a bit of a generalist. So a generalist is a person basically that doesn't necessarily be skilled in one thing. He's skilled at many things, but maybe not as professional as someone that's been skilled at just one thing. Like, I'm basically have knowledge in so many different aspects of life, a skill in sort of being a handyman, construction worker sort of thing, but also having the brains to, run a business, understand marketing, sales, and everything that goes around that too. And yeah, all these strengths can now kind of accumulate together to create something big, create a personal brand which can just incorporate all the things I'm interested in, because at the same time as not wanting to do plumbing, I went out the other day and I changed like a tap. I, ran some cold water pipe to a house that I had to do. It was just a hole in it or something. And I just really enjoyed the process. I really enjoyed just getting out there, getting my hands dirty, cutting some pipes and just making something better, and then looking back at it and thinking, this is what I made and I made it better for this customer or this client. And now they feel better because of that. And it's like, that's the feeling I kind of miss when I'm behind a screen, when nothing really feels like it matters too much, So yeah, I've had a lot of thoughts and a lot of thinking about everything and where I want to take the channel. I'm just going to let things flow. I've been putting way too much pressure on myself, thinking I've got to have life all sorted, all figured out, and I've got to have my niche settled. I've got to know exactly what business I'm creating and just focus on that thing, because throughout these 3 years I've been focusing on so many different things, and I just feel like it's just been, well, not a waste because I've learned a lot, but I feel like I just haven't achieved what I was meant to achieve. But as I was talking to my friend, he said, listen man, like, you've also got to look at where you are in life. It's so easy for us to just always look forward and think, we're not successful, we haven't made it, this is the next step, blah, blah, blah. But just take a step back in your life and just think about what you've achieved so far. I mean, for me, like he said, like, listen, man, like when you're sitting outside and you're looking at the mountains in your background and you're drinking your coffee and you're having your slow morning, and you're at your house that's, all paid off, and you've got a car and beautiful wife and kids, like, you've already won. You've already won. So stop worrying so much about X, Y, and Z. And he's right, but unfortunately, us as humans, we will never look at things that way. We always look at things like, oh, what is the next step? Like, I'm failing, this imposter syndrome comes into your head and you're thinking this, that, and the other. Don't want to brag, but I made the choice that not many people would ever do. I left my country for another one, started a new life in a country that I didn't necessarily speak much of the language. That was a struggle. I've learned a lot now, not fluent yet, but I'm getting by. I'm learning to drive on the other side of the road. These things are a big accomplishment for some people. I've drove all around Europe in a car, 22 hours drive. I've sorted everything out. My whole life has changed and I've made so many different achievements. And if you just reflect on your own as well, just sit down and just think, you know what, stop being hard on myself. What have I achieved in these last few years? What have I achieved in my life? I've got this, I've got my wife, I've got my kids. Does it really matter that much? No, it doesn't. So why don't I just start enjoying what I have and what I have created so far, and just take things easy? And I don't have to have everything figured out right now. It doesn't all have to be figured out. Just because everyone looks like they've got their life figured out online or whatever, it doesn't mean that you have to. Things take time, and just roll with it. Just roll with it and enjoy. And when you take on that mindset, whole body just starts relaxing, and you just think, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. I can take things slow. I'm enjoying. The main thing for me is I'm having my slower mornings. I'm constructing my own days the way I want them. And I'm taking things easier. My mental health is completely changed compared to what it was in UK. I was stressed all the time. I was so anxious. I was depressed. I came here. That took a ton of work. It took a ton of work to change my confidence, my self-confidence, and everything in order to get, my anxiety back on track. So if I just feel like I need the slower morning, I take the slower morning. I wake up a few minutes late. My kid has to go to school. I'm not chucking her in the car straight away and running down there. I'm saying, you know what? Text the teacher that we're going to be a lesson late. It doesn't really matter. That one lesson isn't going to change everything, right? Why do I have to be in such a rush all the time? Obviously, there's a difference between not being in a rush and being lazy. Now, I'm not necessarily saying I'm being lazy. I'm just listening to my body. And as human beings, we weren't born here to be constantly rushing and constantly doing this hustle culture that they put out there. Take it easy. Listen to your body. Your body is the main indicator to tell you to stop, to tell you to stop doing whatever you're doing. And if it tells you to stop, then listen to it. And take it easy and listen. And then take space, find clarity, and find ways to improve. So here we go, guys. This was off the cuff, no script as usual. I don't want a script. So many YouTube people say, you've got a script, you've got to do this, you've got to make sure that everything's viral, you've got to do X, Y, and Z if you want your videos to go out there. No, I'm just going to be authentic. I don't do scripts. I don't do reading off a script. I just say what I want to say, and that's just how I'm going to do it. And I don't want to do it any other way. I'm going to do it the way I want to do. If it doesn't go anywhere, so be it. But as long as I'm putting it out there, even if my content gives value to one person, that's my subscriber, that's enough for me. So, guys, thank you for watching my video. I hope to be back with some more videos. I hope to show you more in the day of a life of, plumbing more, and showing you through the jobs, and hopefully showing you with more people, and just filming whatever I feel like filming at the time. I'm not going to put any pressure on myself and say it's got to be just around Croatia, or it's just got to be around this or that or the other. I'm just going to make an amalgamation, or however you say it, of different content I just want to create, and I'll put it out there, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's it. So yeah, guys, without further ado, thank you for watching the video, and I will see you next time.